Good afternoon and welcome to SBL's first session for today. As it is the first day, I think we should wait a couple of more minutes so that all the other students who wish to join can also join. Just a couple of more minutes and then we'll start with the session. Okay, I believe some other students will also join on the way. We can get started for now. My name is Mohammed Rizwan and I've been teaching for the last 22 years now, out of which about 15 to 16 years have been dedicated to ACCA teaching. I teach at all three levels, the theory subjects, business and technology, law, as well as SBL. uh, I guess we can start gradually with our introduction of the subject and what are the requirements of the subject and what are my intentions and my plans in order to make you succeed in this paper in the first attempt. During the lecture, if you have any questions or queries, you may use the chat section to post your question, and I'll be happy to answer those. Okay. Obviously, as this is a P level exam, the final stage of your ACCA. Before going to do that, let me know if you have attempted any of the P series paper, whether you have attempted the SBR on any other paper on this level, or will this SBL be the first one, please? Anyone? Okay, that's good. All right. Well, those who have attempted this level paper previously, they are a little bit on the edge because they are aware of the breadth and the complexity and depth of the of that particular relevant subject. But no matter, I will be hopefully guiding you through all the stages. Uh, for the purpose of our classes SBL, I will assume that all the students are the first timers, so that those who are the first timers for this level may also learn, and those who have attempted a few paper, one or two papers, they may also learn something new from me. So the first thing you need to remember, as this, the very name of the subject suggests, strategic business leader. Here we will be discussing your roles as the top leading section of the organization. This subject, number one, requires you to demonstrate a blend of technical as well as practical and professional skills. Technical skills, practical skills, as well as professional skills. We'll be touching upon these one by one. Technical skills basically are derived. These will not be something new. These are based on your already existing knowledge and skill that you have derived from the uh, skills level, your F series, so to speak. This means that whatever you have studied in those should not be forgotten. One way or the other, those skills will be used in this subject as well. For example, financial analysis. You will be required to take help of that knowledge that you already have and implement it here with the strategic vision. Then practicality, the given scenario, to apply that particular knowledge to a particular given scenario. And the professional skills, there are 5 professional skills that are tested at this level, and we will be touching upon it in great detail in a while. Number 2, this subject tests your ability to function as an accountant in a stimulated workplace. Not just an accountant, but a top level executive. This asks you to respond to requests from people in various roles. And in a while, we will study. Sometimes you will be working in the role of a chief executive, sometimes as a chairman, sometimes as an auditor, sometimes as an NED, sometimes as an advisor. So you need to remember that these are different caps that you will be wearing. You will be working in different roles in order when you are responding to the questions in the paper. It will not only be technical quality of your answer that matters, but how professional your response is. So one important part of our paper preparation technique will be not just writing whatever you know, but writing it in such a way that looks professional and up to the level of the executive positions in an organization. In short, I will be giving you tips on how to improve your writing and expression, because this is complete theory paper and you have to express yourself quite well. Because the exam is our primary focus, so we'll just quickly touch upon the exam structure. Excuse me. By the way, there is a viral infection in my country, and almost everyone is affected by it. I myself have some trouble breathing, so please don't mind if I cough during the lecture. I hope by the next session, this problem would have been resolved. Okay, coming to the exam structure. Number one, you would have heard about the pre-scene. It's not such a big fuss that some people make about it. You can take it simply like that. In previous years, the whole paper was presented to you, and you were given a case study, and you would study that in detail, take notes, take points, and based on that you would attempt different scenarios and questions. So that part was already included in the paper within that time. Usually it would used to take about 40 to 45 minutes to read, but that was within the exam time. So the students would feel a little bit pressured. From previous few attempts, ACCA has changed that model, and they release the pre-scene 2 weeks before the examination. Now, number one thing, you will not be alone in that. Whenever the pre-scene is uploaded on your ACCA portals, you will download it. We will continue. By that time, we would have completed our course, and you would have attempted certain number of tests and mocks as well. So for that pre-scene, we will have another session, which is usually free and everyone can join, but that is specifically for the enrolled students, though they can bring others as well. But so in that pre-scene, I will be giving you all the detail and analysis so that you are well prepared for the examination. So the first thing you need to remember is there is a pre-scene. Pre-scene information will be released, like I said, 2 weeks before the exam sitting. The pre-scene contains background and contextual information on fictitious organization, and this is very important. ACC itself says that you need to keep yourself confined on the information given on the pre-scene. You do not need to, for example, if it is a last time it was about a project management organization. Before that, there was a airline industry. So you do not need to go and dig further and go further research into the airline industry or project management industry. That's not required. Whatever information is there in the pre-scene, you need to have a conceptual analysis of that, and that will be sufficient enough for you to attempt the paper. That's why they give a fictitious information organization. That's not a real organization that the exam will be based on and the industry in which it will operate. So basically the pre-scene will have two parts, one specific business and second the industry in which it is operating. Students are expected to familiarize themselves with the pre-scene information in advance of the exam, making sure that they understand the terms and concepts that are included with the pre-scene. Students are not expected, remember this, to conduct further research into the industry that is covered in the pre-scene. No required, because you see it gives you unnecessary burden, information that you may not require for the paper. So make it easy for yourself, stay within the pre-scene. The examination is based on an integrated case study. The integrated case study means that all the information now, remember that it's not like that the case study information is given in pre-scene and in the paper you will only have question explain this and explain that. No, further data will also be given in the paper. But if you have familiarized yourself with the pre-scene, you will be able to link those up together and formulate your answer then. The exam itself will contain further information relating to that fictitious organization in the pre-scene. The information could be from a range of sources such as extract of meetings, board reports, spreadsheets, CVs, interviews, press releases, many things. Each exam will contain 3 tasks with varying number of marks. These tasks may require the candidate to take on different roles. Remember this because your answer the way you formulate your answer will depend on these, depending on the situation. The number of marks allotted to all these tasks will add up to 100 in total. Within this total available marks, there are 20 professional skills marks that I talked about, and we will discuss this in these 5 skills in detail. Most tasks will contain professional skill marks. For example, a question will be there and you will be told that about 4 marks or 5 marks are for this particular professional skill, and you will have to demonstrate that skill in while formulating your answer. That will be the other important area that I will be guiding you on. The examination of 3 hours and 15 minutes, because previously it was 4, so 45 minutes, that reading time for the pre-scene, that has been deducted now. But it includes reading, planning, and reflection time. The time can be used flexibly, and during the paper you will also have the access to pre-scene anyway, so don't worry about it. But again, uh, you have to keep a balance. Do not take this view from my discussion that pre-scene is not important, and if it is released 2 weeks before, I will study one day ahead and I'm done. No, it's not like that. It has its own importance as well. Okay, what will be your exam approach? Number one, you will be playing a role. You respond to a task given to you. You may be a CEO, you may be the head of HR department, you may be an NED, you may be a divisional director, you may be you may be an advisor of the company, and you will notice that during our lectures, I will be popping up some. Suppose we study one topic, I will give you a brief scenario and a question on that, and I will give you time during the lecture to write at least the main bullet points of the answer. And then I will discuss the answer with you so that you can compare your notes and your answer structure with that one. So that in there you will see that most of the time it will be asking you to play a certain role. Number two, display of professional in addition to technical skills. You will have to discuss the ideas and approaches with other students as well as your co-workers in order to get commercial awareness in practicality. Now, uh, I assume that because usually the students who study at SBL level, they are mostly working already somewhere. If that is not the case, then fine, no problem. You may discuss it with your colleague, your friends, or anyone else who's also studying the paper. But if you are working in an organization already, whatever you study in this course, try to discuss with your seniors, your bosses, your colleagues, co-workers. This will help you gather the commercial awareness of the industry and how the knowledge that we gather here actually practically is applied in the organizations. That's just a tip that will help you have a broader perspective of the content that we study in this course. Then very important area will be, we will be discussing different formats. This particular portion I will be discussing with you towards the end of the syllabus, where your memories will be fresh. Generally, the reporting requirements of the paper could be in such a way that, for example, the question scenario will be given and it will be asking you to write a letter to the board of directors as an advisor to them. So you see the role that you are playing is the advisor, and the reporting format will be the letter. So you need to familiarize yourself with the letter format. These could be in report format, which is more formal, more text is there. This could be in the form of an email, in the form of a press release, etc. So there are different form memos, there are different formats required, and we will be discussing those formats as well. So it is important because some marks will be given for the format as well. So it is important that you follow the format, not to lose those particular marks. Now, as I was talking with you about the writing skills, whenever we are writing in a formal way, there are different opening and closing lines that tell the audience how formal of a writer you are. Now, remember that this is not vital that you memorize exact same things. These are just to give you an idea of how the opening lines should be, and when you are closing the report or closing the that particular format, a letter, how should it be? It should not be an abrupt opening. It should not be a sudden close. There has to be a good flow between these two. For example, if we are writing a briefing paper, it should start like this. This briefing paper identifies the benefits of such and such. And in the end, we can say in summary, the directors need to be aware of. So we are giving a few lines about the summary. Similarly, if it is a report and we are in the middle, we can say this section of the report indicates or consider this. If it is considering all the factors, that appears to be the most suitable course of action. So you see, it's not an abrupt beginning and not a sudden end. You will have to start smooth and end with a smooth closing. So these lines would also help you out. Another very important area of your paper attempting technique in writing skills would be to understand the action verbs. Now, if you have been through properly the skills level, you would be familiar with many of these, but I will still be uploading the action verbs and what is required when a certain action verb is used in the paper. I'm giving you some examples here. For example, if the question asks you to analyze something, what does it actually mean? It means that break into separate parts and discuss, examine, and interpret each part. Analysis means whatever data is given, separate it into different categories, discuss those categories, and interpret and give detail in each part. The key tips will be give reasons for the current situation and what has happened. So this will give you the analysis. If it says apply, it will be rather lower level, meaning to put into action pertinently or relevantly. Something is given, apply it here. Properly apply the scenario or case. If it says assess, it means to judge the worth of it, importance, evaluate, estimate the nature of it, about its quality, its ability, its essence, its significance to something. Determining the strengths, weaknesses, importance, significance, ability to contribute. So I will be sharing all these the action verb document on the portal, and later on you can download it and study it and refresh your memories. And whenever we are discussing the, just like I explained earlier, that whenever we will be attempting a particular question during our lecture, if it says apply or analyze or assess or evaluate or synthesize, whatever, you will have to formulate your answer accordingly. Okay, a little bit more about the pre-scene. Okay, the main purpose of the pre-scene is to enable you to become familiar with the business activities of the case study, organization, and the industry. So two parts, the organization itself and the industry in which it is operating before the exam. So familiarity with the important contextual information includes pre-scene will help you to better understand and apply the further information that will be provided in the exhibits in the exam. So remember that. If you have the mind that I will study pre-scene because these are just a few pages, mostly it is about 8 to 9 pages, not more than that. And there are certain data involved in it. It's not all text. But the main thing is that you will need to interpret and link different information and have a proper mindset before the exam. That will not come to you if you study pre-scene just one day ahead of it. And in addition, the paper will also contain many exhibits, many scenarios, which you will need to link with the pre-scene information. So we need to have a proper balance of the pre-scene information and be ready for the paper. It is designed to provide the background and context only and will not signal the areas. Well, it says that, but being teachers, we when a scenario is given, we may be able to give you some guidelines, even though it is just for the peace of mind that if a particular certain subject area has been missed out, which is never recommended, we have to study all the subject areas. If certain areas has been missed out, you will have those 2 weeks to cover that area as well. Otherwise, the aim of the pre-scene is not to indicate from which subject area will the paper be made or the question will mostly be. So, as I told you, there are two aspects of the pre-scene, the industry information and the information that relates to that specific organization. ACC will continue to base the case study exam on industry or sector of the economy. You should familiarize yourself with the information provided in the pre-scene, even if you are already familiar with the industry. For example, if you are working in a hotel, you will be working in you already know about the hotel industry. So if the question is also about the hotel industry, it is an added benefit to you, nothing more. It is because for the purpose of SBL exam, certain facts about the industry may be simplified. Because you see, it is not judging you based on because suppose if I'm working in teaching industry and I'm appearing for SBL paper and it is about hotel industry, it will not make me a complicated scenario which confuses me. No, it is there to test my knowledge, skills and application as an executive, which could be in any industry. So they make it simplified. Then is the specific organizational information in the pre-scene is fictitious and will not represent a real organization. The specific information provided will vary depending upon what is appropriate for each SBL. Sometimes they will give the data of the financial data, the previous year track records, the previous year's financial data, their growth and decline, etc., so on and so forth. So such data is given in the pre-scene. You will need to spend time becoming very familiar with information in the pre-scene. You may do some research to better understand the terminologies and activities of the industry. However, there is no expectation that the student undertake further research. Remember that SBL exam is based on fictitious organization and exam tasks will relate to this organization specifically and not any general research you may have taken independently. So it is not required. If you study it and 1 week before, I will give you all the information on an analysis on that will be sufficient for you from the pre-scene point of view. A very important thing, because you see these are the areas that ACCA and we as teachers have identified that sometimes students spend much more time and make a big fuss from the pre-scene that, oh, this is very difficult. It's not such thing. What to avoid doing with the pre-scene? Number one, avoid extensive additional research. I already told you that. Avoid speculating on the areas of the syllabus. Do not do that. You cannot judge it, and the examiner is not bound to give the questions from one particular subject area. They usually spread it out evenly across the paper. Avoid using pre-scene as the main source of material for answering the exam task. So whenever you are attempting the paper, take advantage of the data given in the exhibits in the paper during the paper. So you should not always refer to the pre-scene all the time, but the data that is given in the exam will also be important and that also must be used. Avoid reading pre-scene for the first time just before the exam session. I told you already, it's not as simple, not as difficult. Avoid spending so much time on the pre-scene at the expense of revising the areas of the syllabus. So these are the last 2 weeks. Suppose you one particular subject area 3 suppose has been you haven't been neglecting it and keeping it for the end. Spend time revising that. Do not spend all the time on the pre-scene. Avoid question tipping and spotting. Never do that. This is not the required. Normally, it is not good for your career as well. You have to think like executives because it's not just to pass the paper. You have to prepare for the next step as a professional to be added into the professional community. So you have to start thinking like that as well. Okay. Let's take a short break, a 5 minutes break or 3 minutes break, refresh ourselves, and then I will take you through the detailed guidelines of the syllabus. What are the different areas included and what will be our approach for that. During this time, if you have any questions or queries, you may please put on the chat section. By the way, when I give you a little bit of break time, this means you get up from your seats, positions, move around a little, drink some water, freshen up, and then come back. I usually apply the strategy to teach about 25 to 30 minutes, give a little bit of break, and then start again. That refreshes students' mind because this is a long session and it's not just I have to rush and complete the syllabus. I have to make you understand all these things. For that, we'll always need a fresh mind. So let's take about 2 to 3 minutes break and then we'll reconsume. All right. So let's have a little bit discussion on the syllabus areas that we will be focusing upon. This diagrams give you a detailed perspective of your overall syllabus. There are 8 areas of the syllabus content that we are going to study: leadership, governance, strategy, risk, technology and data analytics, organization control and audit, finance in planning and decision making, and innovation, performance, excellence, and change management. These are broad subject areas in which all the chapters are divided. We will be, hopefully, if time permits, we will be starting with the first section, that is leadership today. This is the inner area. If you look, focus on the outer area, except for employability and technology, that is a separate area. These 5 are the skills, the professional skills that you will be tested upon. Commercial acumen in no particular order: commercial acumen, communication, analysis, evaluation, and skepticism. These are the areas in which your professional skills marks that we talked about, the 20 marks, these lie. So content is that we will be studying, and the skills that we will be polishing ourselves for. So these are the professional level skills that we will be focusing on. Let's discuss a little bit what these are, and I will give you explain these to you with a simple sort of a flow case study. Analysis: thoroughly investigate and research the information from a variety of sources. So you will have information from the pre-scene, you will have information in the exhibits in the paper as well. So you will have to have an analysis and linkages between all of those. Communication skills: express yourself clearly and convincingly. Usually when it will be asking you to submit a report or something like that, it will ask you that how do you express yourself clearly, how do you formulate the paragraphs, how do you link the paragraphs with each other so that they give you an expressive, a proper meaning. Skepticism is a skill which I'm sure you will be familiar now that you have reached the P series. Skepticism is a very important skill for a chartered accountant, which means that you should not take whatever information is being given to you and agree to it on the face of it. You have to probe, question, and challenge the information. Especially when we will be discussing pre-scene, you will see that a paragraph A will be saying something, but the data in paragraph D will not be corresponding to that. So you should question it. Which one is true? Why is that not true? Why, if it is saying this from and this side, why is saying something else on the other side? So skepticism means probe, challenge, question the information that is given to you. Do not agree to everything that is said to you. Evaluation means carefully assess the situations, proposal, different arguments in the balanced way, and it is a higher level skill than the analysis. Then commercial acumen means commercial awareness. Show awareness of the wider business and external factors of the business. Meaning, your knowledge should not be just the bookish knowledge. That's why I told you that whenever you study something, try it at how is it being implemented in the real world. Whatever is for example, we'll study the leadership. If you are working in an organization, see how different leadership styles are being used by different managers. If you are working, if you're not in a job place, you can observe it here and there. For example, you go to a supermarket, you go to a restaurant, see how the things are being applied over there, and this will give you a commercial awareness of how the text that we study is applied in the in actual real life environment, and you will see there will be quite many differences in that. Okay, this is just a main purpose, and then the specific professional skills. In communication, you will be required to inform, persuade, clarify, In commercial acumen, you need to demonstrate awareness, show judgment, show insight in the industry. In analysis, you need to investigate, inquire, consider different options. In skepticism, probe, question, challenge the information. Do not accept everything that is being said. In evaluation, you will have to assess, estimate, and appraise, or appraise is another name for evaluate the different situations. So during our practice sessions, we will be studying in the lecture and the practice exam practice questions. We will be touching upon these and you will know how to formulate answer with according to these skills. In order to make you understand how these skills can be applied, here is a brief sort of a case study, so to speak, a, a scenario. For example, you are going to start a new business. I will take myself, for example, my hobby is fish keeping, aquarium, and usually I go into salt water. So suppose I'm trying to decide if I can make a business out of my hobby. Fish keeping is my hobby. My friends like it. When they come to my home, they praise me for my expertise and how good I am at keeping the fish healthy and alive and keeping corals and all that. So as my friends like it so much, I can. What can I do? I can just start right away, as one of my friends is selling chicken successfully. So it's a sure thing, number one. So why am I going to convert it into a business? Because I see my friend, he was good with chicken. He started a chicken business and he's running successfully. So does this mean that I, with my hobby, will be able to do the same? Should I just start it? Or I should just start it. My friends like it. What can go wrong? Or analysis would be, I should research and investigate first, see if there is a market for the ornamental fish before actually starting the business. I like it. It does not necessarily mean that everyone in my city would like it. So analysis would consider investigate first, see if there is a market for that. Suppose I have done that. I see that yes, there is a market. Now I need to take some loan from the bank because obviously I cannot put all my money, all my savings in my business. That is not the right way to go. So I have to have some investment from other investment bodies as well. So I need to go to bank to start a business. It is appropriate to arrange a formal meeting with the bank manager, obviously, and then bring a full business case feasibility on the day of the meeting to convince them for the bank loan. Don't you think? Do you think that if I go to the bank manager or the main person who extends loan and I tell him that, see, this is my hobby and I now want to convert it into a business, and I think about 10,000 pounds loan would be sufficient for me. Do you really think he will extend me that loan? Obviously not. I need to communicate in such a way that I make him willing to give me the loan. I have to show the benefit for the bank as well, that this is going to be a successful business. How will that be a successful business? What investigation have I done? What have I converted it into? Meaning, I will need to have a business case, a proposal for them. For that, I will need to have communication skills. Then, skepticism. I need to buy a place to start a business on a small scale. Obviously, I need a small shop for the moment. There is a small vacant area nearby my house. The sales agent assures that it is available on easy rentals, and also there is a lot of foot traffic in the area. Means there are a lot of customers that come and go, and your shop will be fine. You will be good at it. He is fully convinced that this will be the right place for my business. Now, what should I do? Should I just accept his thinking? Should I just accept his proposal? Should I just take it on the face value and say, yes, okay, fine. If you are saying this should be okay because you are in the market, no. Or the deal seems just too good to be true and I need to investigate further. So I need to probe, question, and challenge whatever he's saying. I need to maybe sit there for a while, see what kind of goods in those areas are being sold, what kind of businesses are being run, because my business is a different type. It is a luxury business, not a necessity. Not everyone will be happy keeping fish, or they would even know how to keep fish. If it is a general market of fish, for example, but fish, those are used for eating. It is not a good place to start a business for ornamental fish, or maybe it is. But what I need to do is to investigate further. Do not rely on what the agent is saying. That's what skepticism is. Then I will go for evaluation. Now I need to arrange supplier for the ornamental fish. Here I need to compare the details of different available suppliers. A detail of all pros and cons must be explored. For example, if there is a nearby fish store which can supply me the fish, what are the positives and negatives? I will have less transportation cost, less stress to the fish, but maybe it does not have that much variety, so on and so forth. And finally, I will have to have a commercial acumen. I need to know about the business. Now I need to decide what channel of advertisement should be selected. What is the average price of the fish that to be sold in the market? What is the competition doing? How can I achieve my sales target? Or first, how should I set my sales target in the first place? What is time that needs to be put in for research that requires awareness of the business environment and trends in the market? So you see, whenever we are starting a business, these are very, very important 5 skills that we need to work into. So this a brief case study gives you a general idea of how these skills are used in different scenarios, and you will be required to use the same when you are attempting the paper. Okay. Coming back to the syllabus area, we will discuss it generally. Just a second, please. Just give me 5 minutes. There's somebody on the door, please. Okay. Now, we will briefly touch upon the different areas of the syllabus that we will be covering. Number one is the leadership area. Here we will be studying the qualities of leadership and its relationship with the organizational culture, professionalism, ethical codes, and public interest. Remember that it's not the chapter, it's the subject area. So we will be focusing on these in different chapters. The governance area, we will be studying about the agency issues, stakeholder analysis, stakeholder theory, scope and practices related to governance of the organization, reporting to stakeholders, the board of directors, and a little bit touch will be given to the public sector organization governance as well. In strategy, this will be a very major area of our course. Obviously, as the name suggests, strategic business leader. So the strategy will be the area we will be focusing most of our time and most of the chapters on. The concept of strategy is different environmental issues, competitive forces, internal sources, our capabilities, competencies of the organization, how to create and develop those competencies, and the strategic choices that we will be discussing. Mostly we will be studying a major model or GSW model throughout our course in different segments. We'll be studying about the risk, the identification, assessment, and measuring of risk, how to manage it, how to monitor and mitigate the risk, what are the different control measures that are applied in this area. technology and data analytics. We will touching a little bit about the modern methods of cloud computing, big data, machine learning, how e-business and IT systems and modern day technology, how it helps evaluate a business, uh, enhance a business, and why is it important to keep an eye on these changes so that we keep with the growth of these technologies to support our organization. Related to the risk area, we'll be discussing upon the internal control system, audit and compliance, internal control and management reporting system. Remember that the risk analysis area is also very important, just like the strategy. Then obviously finance area, financial transformation, analysis and decision making techniques, and cost and management accounting. These areas I'm sure that most students have grasped very well in their at their skills level, and it is rather easier for them. But the basic idea in this section will not be to make you understand the calculations, but rather using those calculations to answer the strategic level question scenarios. Then we have finally innovation, how innovation and performance success is embedded into the organization, how to manage the strategic change when we want to convert our organization, study it first, study its existing risk and possibilities, set a future for our organization, and how to mold our organization to go for that change, and how the leaders help it out. So we'll go full circle and come back to the leadership in this scenario. This picture may be a little bit overwhelming, but it will give you an idea of how our course will be going. For example, this is the area: ethics, corporate governance, all that, different things. And then here we have those 5 professional skills. So you can take a snapshot, keep it with yourself. And this obviously this slides will be uploaded on the portal as well. There you can later on study this. This is just a mind map of what we will be studying in our course and what will be the different subject areas that we will be studying. Okay. So with this, we have formed a background information of what our approach will be towards our success. So let's take a short break, about 2 to 3 minutes, and then we will start our first section of leadership for SBL. Okay. Start with our first section of the syllabus, which is leadership. Now, uh, it is needless to say that we don't just want leadership. We want an effective leadership in the organization. And what is an effective leadership? A team of people that comprises of such persons that will take us to the advanced levels in the organization, not just keep on running the business and it is going and going and going. A team of capable and responsible directors, number one. Then embedding appropriate corporate culture as well. Corporate culture means a culture which strives for excellence, which wants to go beyond the current existing scenario, which challenges or accepts challenges of the society, accepts challenges of the modern world, and keeps on progressing. So, we don't just need leadership, we need effective leadership in the organization. Now, what is the role of a strategic leader? You need to make yourself aware from the offset because it is you actually. Students who have done ACCA, they are being prepared not just to be an accountant, you are being prepared for the executive positions. You should realize your importance. So, what is the leader or a strategic leader? What is the role of a strategic leader? It is someone who exercises influence over other people. It's not just commanding or giving orders, rather inspiring, it would be a better word. Strategic leaders are involved in planning long-term objectives and then lead others to implement the plans to achieve those objectives through inspiration. Remember that? How do they do that? Number one, they have to set a vision and a mission. A vision is very important aspect. We'll touch upon it in a while. For the organization and motivating people in the organization to work towards it. Setting the strategic objectives. For example, what products will they make? Which markets to sell in? Obviously, the strategic level decisions. Determining the organization structure. What is the or determining the appropriate structure for the organization, including system of controls and risk management. Monitoring the performance of the organization. Up till now, you have set the objectives, you are moving towards the objectives, you have determined how will you achieve those objectives, but are you monitoring your performance? That is also very important to keep a check and balance, to ensure that the organization is on track to meet its objective and to take actions when it deviates from it. Very, very important area. So it's not just the role of the leader is not just to push, rather influence, set the targets, make people willingly motivate in a motivated fashion, achieve those objectives. And if they are not achieving those objectives, how to bring them together, how to bring them to the correct path from the deviated one. Vision is actually a desired future or the state of the organization. Where would we want to see ourselves in next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? Mission is the current purpose of the organization. What are we doing at the moment? Now, for example, Amazon's mission is their mission statement. It goes like, we aim to be the earth's most consumer or customer centric company. Their vision is where customers can find and discover anything they might want to buy online and endeavors to offer its customers the lowest possible prices. So, two things. They say that we would want our customer to get anything that they want online with us and to the lowest possible prices. Later on, when we will be studying different strategies, we will be seeing how this vision of Amazon is translated into the types of products that they sell, the structure that they have, the price strategies that they use, everything will be coming from this vision. You'll see that. Generally, what are the different traits that the leaders should have and the skills that they need to develop. I'll generally give you an idea about these. For example, they should be able to be adaptable to the situations. With the molding situation, they should keep on changing themselves, but with the vision that they have to achieve your objectives. It's not as changing in the, like, if a stressful environment is there, you just go blind, you just become dormant. Not like that. You should be able to challenge those situations and change yourself accordingly. Alert to social environment or changes being brought in the social environment. Ambitious, achievement oriented. Assertive, very very important. Assertive means that you should be able to put your viewpoint forward even if the whole world is opposing you, even if the whole world is against you. They should also be cooperative. Decisive. Decisive means making a decision, a right decision at the right time. They should be dependable. People should be able to depend on them. People should look forward to them, look ahead, look at them, look at the leaders. What steps do they take? We will follow. They should be dominant or desired to have to influence over others, energetic, persistent, self-confidence, tolerant of stress. Because you see, with leadership position, you will have to have stress. If you cannot tolerate stress, leadership is not your area. Willing to assume responsibilities. Remember, this is, in my viewpoint, one of the most important areas with the help of which leaders can be very influential. When something goes wrong, they take responsibility. They do not blame others. He did that. He did that. Obviously, the managers do not do everything by themselves. They have to command others to do things. But if something goes wrong and the manager or the leader starts blaming the subordinates, he loses their trust because they were doing what they were told. So even sometimes the leader should be able to take responsibility for those actions which he did not even commanded. But for the sake of developing trust in the subordinates, it is important that he is always ready to assume the responsibility. Different skills in addition to that, because skills can be developed later on. He should be clever and intelligent, sharp-minded, creative, diplomatic, fluent in speaking and not English, fluent in communicating his ideas clearly, knowledgeable. He should have knowledge of different areas so that when the subordinate come to him and ask him for different viewpoints, he should have something to give to them. He should be organized, persuasive, and socially skilled. He should be able to bond with different people. So this gives you a general idea of what different leadership traits should be like. To summarize these, he should have an emotional stability and composure, a calm, confident, and predictable person, particularly when he is under stress. You see, in organizations, the followers, the subordinates follow whatever the leader is doing. If he's panicking in a stressful situation, for example, you launched a product, it has failed. Now the leader is like this, oh my God, what will happen? So much money has been wasted. That will trickle down to the whole organization. Everybody will be in panic. So it is up to the leader to stay calm in all difficult positions as well. Admitting errors. He should owe up to mistakes rather than putting energy in covering up, being defensive, blaming others. He should have good interpersonal skills, ability to communicate and persuade with others without resorting to negative or coercive tactics, not to threaten others, but make others feel that they want to follow him. He should have an intellectual breadth, a commercial awareness, ability to understand wide areas. If this happens, how will that happen? I'll just give you a very practical tip that my mentors, my seniors gave me when I started working. They said that obviously, when you start your professional career, you're not at the top level, you are at some junior level, some junior accountant or junior manager or something like that. Obviously, that is the start. Learn everything. Those things, even those skills, even which are not related directly to your job. So, I know how to fix a photocopier machine to a fair level, not at a highest technical level. Now, I was a teacher, then I became an administrator, I became the head of different institutions. What has that got to do? What has got photocopying to do with those skills? Apparently nothing. But suppose now I am the head of institute and the photocopier person, he comes to me that the photocopier machine is not working and I want to spend this much amount to get it fixed. I may be able to help. I may be able to guide him, fix this portion, do this command and do that, replace this thing, and it's fixed now. Maybe it helps, maybe it not. But it gives that person an idea that the leader, the manager is not asleep. He knows things. That builds confidence. That gives him trust that my leader knows me. He knows his job as well. He knows my job as well. Another idea is could be that they will not be able to trick you. They will not be able to make you waste organizational resources, which is very, very important from the leadership point of view. So take it from me. Whenever you join an organization, try to learn all the skills that you can, even if you think they are not related to you. They may not be related to you now, they will be related to you when you become the executive of that organization. Okay. We know that there are different types of leadership behaviors. One comparative behavior is the transactional versus transformational leaders. Who is a transformational leader? These are the ones that aim to achieve organizational change and improvement by impacting the culture, not forcing it, not telling people to do this and I will reward you. No, they influence a change. They bring the change from within. They lead from the front. What are their underlying beliefs? People will follow the person who inspires them. That is natural. Not everybody will be following you for the sake of money. A person with vision and passion can achieve great things. The way the things get done is by injecting enthusiasm and energy in the people. And if the leader is able to do that, then the followers will also follow him. So, not everything can be brought with the monetary influence. These are the different areas that we look into when we are talking about the transformational leadership. Number one, development of a vision, a view of the future which will excite, something very exciting, something the others have not done, something that only we can do. Let's do it. Things like that. But not just mere banters, something which is possible to be done. Then sell that vision. Convince, selling means convince others to come on board. If the vision is only in your mind, that is of no use. The others should come on board. Create a trust. It is the leader's personal integrity that comes into play. If they trust you, then they will trust your judgment. They will trust that you can bring that vision into possibility. Then plan to transform. They are on board. Some leaders have ready strategies, some leaders have exploration by the followers, discuss and come up with a plan how to transform, how to achieve the vision that we have just created, and then lead from the front. Always be visible. It's not like giving tasks and then getting disappeared, and at the end of the day you come and okay, what have you done? No, you should also be being visible, that what are your inputs as a leader that are being put in for the benefit of the organization, and that enthusiasm will encourage the others to follow. So that is the transformational leadership. I'll just give you 2 to 3 minutes to go through this, and I would like you to give me in chat section any idea whatever you have uh, grasped from this from the point of view of leadership. 2 to 3 minutes, read it, and then take a minute or two to write your responses in the chat section, please. Yes, anyone? Would you like to comment on this? What have you gathered from it in the chat section, please? Okay, let me break it down for you. This shows about the vision of Bezos and how he transformed Amazon and made it to the top levels in the world. If you focus here, believe that it was possible to disrupt. This is the word disruptive technologies we'll study later on. Disrupt means that the market is going with the flow and you suddenly bring a certain change that transforms the whole industry. So he disrupts the publishing and book retailing by offering discounts and encouraging reader reviews, and he got the market share. He then transformed into by introducing e-readers, Kindle, because he was taking advantage of the modern technology that was going on at that time. Secondly, he recognized the importance of customer focused culture. Remember, I showed you the vision of the of Amazon, that they are more customer centric. Whatever the customer want, they want to provide that. Another example he gives is that of two pizza rule. This is the rule in Amazon that whenever they make teams to come up with solutions of different problems, of different strategies, or different ideas, they keep smaller teams. For smaller teams, that they have applied this two pizza rule, that every team needs to have small enough number of members to be fed by two pizzas. So there should not be many people, everyone talking and or having different bureaucracies, rules and regulations. No, smaller teams with a focus on attempting the coming up with the creative ideas. So you see, leadership actually takes the organization and transforms it. It just does not keep, they keep on coming with new ideas and developing the culture of the organization. So to keep on developing, keep on uh, advancing. Another area of leadership is that of the authentic leadership. Uh, Authentic leaders not only know their own values, beliefs, and skills, but also make decisions that play values, beliefs, and needs of those around them. So they keep on they focus on what others think. They focus on what others people beliefs are. It's not just that they are imposing their beliefs on others. There are different components of it. For example, the public trust. 2008 financial crisis severely damaged the public trust in the business leader. There was a massive crashes all over the world, and the financial industry was going down the drain. And the trust that had already been damaged by corporate governance scandals from Enron and WorldCom a few years earlier. We later on will talk about, when we will be studying the corporate governance area, we will be discussing that how in America they passed the uh, Sarbanes and Oxley Act, and to have the proper governance protocols set in place to restrict the world, the organizational leaders to work efficiently and under corporate governance rules. But there were times that the public trust was damaged in the business leaders, that they would not be able to do business properly. Authentic leadership can be seen as a response to public perceptions of corporate self-interest, with leaders showing a greater interest in the societal issues and a desire to make positive, lasting contributions. So, the public trust was tried to be developed with the idea that we are doing business not just for ourselves, but we are not focusing only on ourselves, but on the society as well. That was the first element of the authentic leadership. Second, self awareness. A core tenet of authentic leadership is that a leader cannot be authentic while trying to imitate another person. They have to be real, they have to be themselves. So, the first step in authentic leadership is to know thyself, know yourself, know your strengths, know your weaknesses. This involves strengthening the intrinsic motivators, the values and beliefs that derive them from being consistent in their leadership decision. Authentic leader also needs self-awareness to identify weaknesses to and overcome them. Not just identification of weaknesses, but to overcome. For example, I'll give you my example. Once upon a time, I had an issue as a manager. I could not say no. And in one of the training, it came up and I realized that, oh yes, this is my weakness. Any subordinate comes with an application with a miserable face, I accept his application. I do not question, I do not probe or challenge, I do not give any other idea. But later on, when I came to know that that is my weakness, I tried to overcome. For example, a person would come to me, subordinate, that there is an emergency and I have to leave. I would try to discuss with them and establish whether there is a real emergency or not. If there is a real emergency, I would give him different possible opportunities, different possible scenarios to choose from. So you see, authentic leadership is about not just understanding yourself, understanding your strengths, understanding your weakness, and working on those weaknesses. So this is a three-pronged approach. Practice. Leadership shows itself in the actions that are taken, not just the words, especially under pressure. A consistent application of stated values promotes trust and better interpersonal relationships. So you keep on emphasizing things, but you also, on the other hand, do the things, take the steps to make people believe in you. Merely stating facts, merely stating good things is not enough. Okay. Another brief case study. I'll give you about 5 minutes to grasp it, and then I'll explain how do they work in the according to the societal objectives. So, what idea do you get from it? How Yvon Chouinard was an avid surfer and a climber who started his first company making pythons for climbers in Yosemite Valley. When he became aware that his points were causing damage to rock faces, he introduced a new product and advanced cleaning combining. So you see, he is going towards the authentic leadership, towards the societal objectives. Despite the impact on his previously best-selling product, he it was a best-selling product and it went down because of the new one. In 1970, she had founded outdoor clothing company Patagonia Incorporated and committed the company to environmental activism. In 1986, he pledged to donate 1% of the sales or 10% of the profit, whichever is higher, to the environmental activism. Having discovered the heavy environmental impact of the chemical weed killers used in growing cotton, the company decided to switch to 100% organic cotton. Patagonia aims to be carbon neutral by 2025 and has initiated circular economy strategies in product design such as worn wear and scheme. You can find all that on the internet. Here is just a viewpoint of Patagonia's sustainability strategies. What do? They have worn wear program, product durability, fair labor practices. These are the areas. So you see, they are not just focusing on themselves, but on the society as a whole. They have the environmental responsibility. They use recycled materials. They have supply chain transparency in order to get the most organic items, raw material. Environmental advocacy, carbon offsetting, donation model, closed loop initiatives, reduced packaging waste, and repair and care. So you see, Patagonia uses organic and recycled materials such as organic cotton, hemp, recycled polyester, and recycled nylon. The company also reuses cardboard boxes and paper that has renovated its facility to have energy efficient lighting. So overall, you see that the authentic leadership has taken them from their own objectives, their own corporate objectives, so to speak, only profits, to a view that we care for the society as well. We care for the other people as well. Okay. Before we go into the exam practice question, we will have a short break of about 5 minutes and then we will reconvene. Okay, having understood the basic ideas about the leadership, we will now touch upon certain leadership theories uh, that would some refresh your memories from the early stages of the business and technology. But remember that we will quickly recoup those ideas, refresh those ideas, and then we have to apply those ideas to the SBL level. The first theory in this is the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. If you remember that Maslow divided the human needs into five categories and all those were ascending. Physiological needs are those needs which are at every level, sorry, at the lowest level. And these are needs which called basic needs and are required to sustain life. In organizational context, we can say pay, salaries, appropriate salaries, pay packages would be the physiological needs. Once those are completed, we go to the safety needs in an organization where they need to feel safe. They need to have an environment in which they feel safe. They need to have job security. In social needs, they need to be get intermingled with other. They need to be supported by their colleagues. They need for love and belongingness coming into play. They feel secure as part of the group or a team. Then self-esteem, also known as ego needs, the status or self-esteem, that promotion that gives you an idea of that you are important. And finally, self-actualization or fulfillment level, which you try to bring out your creativity, your it is the actions that you choose. You are free to choose your actions that are aligned with your values and higher purpose, the challenging environment that is given to you. So generally this is the idea, but now we have to apply that to a given situation. Now I'm going to give you an exam practice question. Read it thoroughly, and the idea is to write the bullet point answers. Obviously, at this time, I would not ask you to write complete answers because there's a lecture going on. We cannot do that. The idea is how you apply that knowledge that you already have to the given scenario. And then afterwards, I will explain the answer to you in detail. That will not be in bullet point, that will be in detail. And then you can compare your answer to the answer that I give you. So the first exam practice. Oh, by the way, another idea of understanding the Maslow's hierarchy of need is in this way. Survival need, then the safety need could be into compensation and benefits. Then this is the modern recognition, belongingness, having attached in a group or a team or as team needs. And finally, actualization can be in career development opportunities. So with this framework, I'm going to give you the exam practice question. You will have about 5 to 7 minutes to read it and write the bullet point answers, and then I'll explain the answer to you. So your time starts now. Okay, let me quickly go through the question. Global tech solutions, a rapidly growing multinational technology companies recently undergone significant cultural organizational changes due to merger with another tech firm, Innovatech. This merger has led to merger. Obviously, you know that both companies get together. It has its cultural impacts and all, but at the moment we are talking about the impacts on the insecurities of the employees, resulting in many employees facing job insecurity, role changes, and new management. Despite being known for its innovative products and cutting edge technology, the company is now struggling with declining employees' morale and productivity. So their motivation is going down, which is difficult for the organization to handle. John, the newly appointed CEO, is keen to address these issues and is aware of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. He plans to implement strategies to fulfill the different levels of employee needs to enhance motivation and performance. The workforce consists of diverse group, including junior developers concerned about job security, middle managers seeking recognition and career advancement, and senior executive focusing on achieving their full potential within the organization structure. Using Maslow's hierarchy of needs, analyze. Now you will see how we do the analysis. The different levels of needs that John should address for the various employee groups at Global Tech Solution provides specific examples of initiatives he could introduce at each level to improve employee morale and productivity. So I'm sure that you have written some bullet points for your answer. Let's compare it with the answers that I am going to explain to you here. Okay. Maslow, like I said, at the moment, it is not asking us to write the answer in a particular format. However, you could expect the answer in such a way that suppose you are John and as a CEO, you have to give a briefing paper to the board of directors, or you have to write a letter to the board of directors, or you have to write a report for that matter. That will be rather longer answer. So if that is the case, we will start our answer accordingly. But at the moment, we are just focusing on formulating the answer, not in a particular format. So we are starting like this. A little bit of background of the theory. Maslow's hierarchy of needs is a psychological theory that positions human needs in a hierarchical order from the most basic physiological needs to the higher order self-actualization needs. In the context of an organization, understanding these needs can lead to enhanced employee motivation. So in the first area, you see you are giving the background, then you are linking it up to the coming to your organ to the question at hand. So you are telling the examiner that I know the basics and I know the importance of the theory, and that could be applicable in the modern day environment. At Global Tech Solution, now you come to the specific portion. Global Tech Solution, the recent merger has disrupted the usual organizational dynamics, making it essential for John, CEO, to strategically address these needs and stabilize the workforce and boost morale. So this is the background that you have provided. Now, what you will do, you will take each and every need step by step and explain accordingly. So physiological needs, these are usually for the junior managers, junior workers. For junior developers and other staff worried about job security, John should ensure competitive salaries and stable competitive employment contracts. So these two can be combined together as well. He could introduce financial incentives such as bonuses for performance to or offer of health and wellness program. To address job security concerns, John could establish clear communication channels about the merger's impact on the job. We will study later on that whenever we want to bring change, we just do not spring the change on the employees. There are different strategies that we use, one of which is the facilitation and co-optation. One is about information. Bring them on board, tell them the positives of the positive impacts of this change that you are going to bring in, so that they are mentally prepared for that. Maybe that did not happen, but that area is not a concern at the moment. We are mostly focusing on the Maslow's theory. So that's why we are going like this. So offering transparent career development plans and providing regular updates can reduce anxiety. So you see, this is not specific that you provide those to only mid or senior level managers. That can go, that is totally up to you how you take the answer to be. Okay, implementing robust health and safety policies, especially in the light of physical changes in the workplace, is also essential. Then we come to the social needs. John should foster a sense of belongingness among the employees by promoting team building activities and creating opportunities for social interaction. Now, this social interaction will also help their uh, creativity and more of a job security as well. Establishing mentorship programs where senior staff can guide junior employees can also enhance workplace relationship, and that will be helpful for the senior employees who will be feeling more trusted and their self actualization will be tapped into. Esteem needs. Middle managers and other employees seeking career recognition and career advancement would benefit from a structured recognition program. How could you do that? You can further develop on that. John could implement Employee of the Month award programs, for example, provide public recognition for achievements and career opportunities of promotion and skills. Suppose holding a ceremony every month, giving titles to people, certificates to people. It is not necessary that you always go for the monetary rewards, but a recognition, a sense of achievement, tapping on the back could be a positive model. But because there is a change in the organization structure, it is better to have a solid program in which you officially recognize the importance of the senior members of these people and have a proper recognition program, an official recognition program in place, which will be continued for a certain period of time and which will be consistent as well. It will not like it will be one time thing. Finally, the self-actualization needs. Senior executives and employees with a focus on personal growth and need challenging projects that align with their career aspirations. John should could support continuous learning opportunities such as advanced training programs. So you see, when you are going to actualization, you are going for creativity and higher level needs. They are not focusing on the salary structure or bonuses. They want their career growth. They want to excel in their lives, in their careers. They want to feel important in a way that their experience, their skill is tapped into, is taken help from. Encouraging innovation and allowing employees to take ownership of the project can help them achieve their full potential. By addressing these needs, John can create a more motivated and productive workforce at Global Tech Solutions. So, this exam practice question would have given you an idea how we take the ideas which could be very basic, just like Maslow's hierarchy of need, and implement it on a given scenario. Okay. So we will end the session for today right here. And in the next session, we will be continuing with certain more uh, leadership strategies like Blake and Morton's managerial grid, Theory X and Theory Y, Ashridge Management College model, Levin's leadership style, Adar's action-centered approach, Fiedler's contingency theory. And later on, we will be discussing other concepts like of leadership, like entrepreneurship, and how these foster a positive environment in the organization. And later on, we will be conducting different exam practice questions on that as well. So for today's lecture, if you have any questions or queries, you may please post on your chat section, or if not, then you can leave the session. And once all the students have left, I will end the session. Thank you very much for attending. Take care and goodbye.